That's all. There will be so many cases. So, Anukul is a Varchanam. Pratikul is a Varjanam. Anukul is a Svikara. Then third is Rakshishati Vishwasa. Have that firm faith that God will definitely protect us. What happens is, our faith is not full at any time. We take him as a side dish. But we believe in something else more. So 100% you have it. Let him crush me, let him do anything. I don't care. He may not grant me this wish of mine, but I know pretty well that he is capable of it. So have that full Vishwas. That is very, very essential, because everything is based on faith. Jesus Christ was going among the crowd. A lame man and a blind man came to him. And he pulled the hem of his garment, turned back. Yes, he said, please cure me of my lameness, please cure me of my blindness. Do you believe that he can cure you? Yes, sir, you will cure me. We are without that 100% faith. May your faith cure you. And then they were cured. May your faith cure you. It's all faith, faith, faith. That's all. Nobody has seen God, but your faith, because you are that very God, you are that very self. You are that self. So all the powers are in you which is there. All the powers of the Ganges are there in the Ganges, in the Kamandalu. Kamandalu's water is the same. That doesn't mean that it has become the Ganges. Ganges is Ganges, Kamandalu is Kamandalu. That's the people make the mistake. When you say on that you are that, they say, oh, we are the God. It's not so at all. That entire power is there. Adi Shankara has told, Satyapi Bhedapagame Natha Tavaham Namamaki Nastam. In Advaita there is no difference. You and I are one. But still, I belong to you, you do not belong to me. And the example he says is, Samudrohi Tarangaha. See, you say the wave of the ocean. The wave and the ocean are the same. Do you say the ocean of the waves? You don't say. So, that is always there. That is why even Bhagavan Ramana, after becoming an Atyasami, he prayed to God when his mother was ill. 10 shloka to Arunachala. Arunachala, please save my mother. She is very ill. Her temperature is not going down. So why should such a person do it? So that's always there. So as such, you should have that thing. There is a Nastic, a man who never believed. He was going on the Himalayas, on the verge of some precipice. Suddenly he fell down. Somewhere in the middle he caught hold of some grass roots and he was holding on with difficulty. He found there are thousands of kilometers above and thousands of kilometers below. Not even his bones will be available. So he prayed then, oh God, if there is a God, save me if you can, please. If once you save me, I will go from house to house and I will praise you and I will talk about you, I will make everybody an Astic. Then a voice came. Anyway, then the voice came. Do you have belief in me? Yes. Now that I heard your voice, now my belief is perfect. It's 100%. Okay, will you do what all I say? 100%. Then first, leave that grassroots you are holding. I am not that mad. So, where is his faith? But he doesn't have. So that is the sort of faith we have. 100% we don't have. That's all. That is the real thing. So Rakshishati the Vishwasa is the most important one. Simply saying Sharnamayappa will not do. All these things should be there. 100% faith. God will not fail me. So that is the one. Then Rakshane Varnam Tata. Yes, you have got the belief. So he will do it, don't. He has got billions and billions of people to look after. Where is the time? If my mother has got 15 children at home, so she cannot give equal attention to all. But the child which falls down and kicks its feet and makes a big row and this thing, she will immediately leave everything, all the children are rushed to it. So you have to call on her. You have to call on her, kick your heels and shout, then only she will come, the mother will come. So you have to do it. Rakshane Varnam Tatha. You choose her and call her Mother Rajarajeshwari, I have got belief in you. Please come and save me. Rakshane Varnam Tatha. Then the last is Atmanikshepa. If you believe in your own self to some extent, what happened? Draupadi, when she was being insulted in the court of Duryodhana, when they were taking off her sari, she felt that at least she took one bit of it and she was keeping it in his mouth. How long can it carry on? So till that time, she was calling Govinda. He didn't come. The moment she left it also and called Govinda, Rakshamam, then he came running. There is there. So that 100% completely Nikshepa means to place yourself up. Kshipu to throw. Throw yourself absolutely at his feet. You do whatever you want. There's a beautiful arati in the north which they do it every day for the God. The last line is that is either you kick me or you embrace me. I am at your door. That's all. I have fallen at your door. I have fallen at your door. That's all. There is one entire thing. So like that, completely let him do anything. Don't have the least notion that he is going to do anything. He will protect. That Vishwasa is there. That doesn't mean he may exercise it this time or not. It is his mercy. It is his will. He may do anything. He may like to crush me. He may like to, but both are in my ultimate interest. I do not know my ultimate interest. A person on the first of the month, because he got his salary, he purchased a huge lot of barfi and all these things made of coconuts, he brought home. So his child was there, aged about 4. So at the moment he came, he was going to take it out, his wife told, don't give anything to her. She has had 8 motions today. The father is keeping, the child doesn't know. So she says, yes, you all eat it yourself, don't give even little to me. You are all misers. So the child is blaming the father and mother because of ignorance. So that is how we are doing our ignorance. We are blaming the Lord. Lord knows what to give and what not to give. What is your constitution today? He knows it better. So accordingly, he knows what to do. So Atmanikshepa. The last is Karpanya. Kripanata or Karpanya means absolute helplessness. See, you are asking God, Lord, unless you save me, you give me some money, I can't carry on my daughter's marriage. I am solely dependent on you. But inside, at least my house is there. The worst comes, I can always sell my house. So you are helpless, absolutely. You have got something to fall back on. Have nothing to fall back on. You say, Lord, I am absolutely dependent on you like a child. You cannot do anything. A small child has 3 months. He cannot ward off a fly or a mosquito. Be like that, absolutely. So that's the way. So, if all these things you do, this is called surrender. Sharanagati. See, in the practical terms, what you can do is, because all these things, they are a bit too much. Slowly, the has to improve. But even the very idea that you should surrender yourself, that itself is a partial surrender. You may not have the full faith, but the fact that you approach the Lord, instead of approaching my neighbor, instead of approaching a doctor, that definitely shows that I have some faith in you. The faith may not be 100%, but the faith is there. So that's also the partial surrender. You have to start with that only. It doesn't matter. You start with it. If nothing, you only tell. Bhagavati, I've read from all the books. In the Satsanga, my Guru has so told, your power is infinite. Your compassion is equally infinite. So, I can only appeal to your compassion. I may not deserve anything at all. So, unless you exercise your compassion, Mother, how can I come up in life? How can I gather more faith in you? At least once you prove your existence, in this case, so that I will have more faith in you. Mother, you have to increase my faith. You will have to make me surrender. This is the best I can do, but you have to help me at this. So, with all your heart, with all your soul, you just pray to the Lord in a way that as if you are absolutely a child without anybody to look after. That's all. Everybody will leave you at one stage or another, including the wife. She may leave. She says, this fellow is now at the last this thing. So I have seen in Madras there is some Christian people are running a home for the people who are having the ultimate this thing, cancer. So they look after very well. About 50 beds or so they are gone. They look after very well. But then I have heard there are cases where the moment they join, nobody in their house ever goes and sees. They say it's a terminal case, kya karna hai? So they told them when they sing, you will please let me know. They are given their phone number. And somebody they phoned up, well, it seems she is singing now. She said, please, I am very busy now. Please phone me after she sings.
No, Swamiji, we have had patients when they phone from America and they say that we have to do their cremation also. The patient's cremation also.
Exactly so. Here what the fellow did. See, the man is very closely related to me. And in Bangalore it's happened. See, he was in a good position. I wouldn't say he was in a top position in the group mounts and all that. And night 12 o'clock she had died. So who is to contact him? Morning when they contacted, he went in his car all alone. Took that body, asked somebody to bring there, put him 10 rupees. Took it straight to the cremation ground. He didn't inform anybody. Went there. He asked somebody who was sitting there. He said he saw the genuine. He thought, can you do the actual sanskar? How much do you want? He said 500. He said 300. And that's all. Otherwise you have to pay him thousands. This is all over. And then he went and told his wife, this is what happened. Now chapter is closed. And people came to know much later. So this is what is happening. But Bhagavan never fails. And it looks like failure to us, but ultimately you don't know where it will lead, maybe for your ultimate good also. Somewhere he may concede and he may give you. And sometimes he proves that what all you believe in, all your ultimate technology and the skill of the doctors, everything fails. You know my case. She was a witness. The angioplasty, she was there throughout. 3 dialysis, nothing moved. The kidney was gone, the liver was gone, and the entire big hemorrhages. And then one of the doctors went and brought 4 people and 3 or 4 infusion of blood, and everything stopped. The beat stopped, everything stopped. The kidney failure, renal failure, everything complete. 2 weeks back, some Vokad hospital.
Bangalore.
And she was very much present as a guest doctor, she was allowed. She was there. And the doctor has clinically declared me as dead, but he found I was conscious, the brain was superactive. They didn't know, because according to them, the consciousness in the body, without the body the consciousness will not work. It is just like thinking that without the bulb the electricity is gone. The electricity can survive without the bulb, but bulb cannot survive without the electricity. That is there. So, they were just observing. They said nothing else can be done. And suddenly a miracle happened. They put an oxygen ventilator inside. It was up to the tract. It cannot be taken out. 15-20 minutes it will take 2 people to take out. It is all clamped and done up to the tract. It has gone. My hands were bound because I was trying to take out all the tubes. Suddenly, 1 second they see it was there in my mouth. The other second they just see it is in my hand, and the hand has become loosened. Nobody saw me taking it out. The entire thing in a jiffy this took place. And if suddenly something is taken out, imminent death. But everything began to work immediately. Everything began to work. If this is not the God's deed, what else is it? Tell me it's a pratiksha pramana. That's what God can do. When all the technology are they are given the last 3 injections that is called dopamine, what is that? Dopamine and all that, and the last one is adrenaline, which is directly given to the heart. All the 3, everything was given, nothing worked. That's all.
4-5 days.
And see how he has this thing. And within 1 month, that Swamiji is now talking about it in the loudest of voices. I told them, I asked people, what is the symbolic representation that I took it out, and if you shut my mouth, you say, don't talk, it's my death. When it is taken out, I said, that's the symbolic way God has told me, because many people are telling me, no, don't talk, don't talk. don't
Yeah.
talk.
That's no.
So, this is that surrender. You leave off everything. With real sincerity, you pray with all your helplessness. Mother, I cannot think of anything else at this time. I don't know. If at all anybody is to help, you alone can help now. I am completely at your mercy. That's all. So like that you weep and you 100% at that time you completely tell the mother, it's all in your hands, I cannot do anything. So I beseech you, I beg you, you do something about it. That's all. And things will be done. So this is the shortest method of surrender. And after surrendering, it is only a partial surrender. See, when you surrender wholly. Then why should you every day morning you get up and you say, Bhagavane Sharanam, Bhagavane Sharanam, that means your first Sharanam was not correct. If you are done, once the power of attorney has been given, will you go and renew it every day? It's the power of attorney forever. It's an irrevocable power of attorney. And that is called Sharanagati. So that is what happens. So that is the real Sharanagati where absolutely you discovered everybody, everything, father, mother, and completely at one. Uttara, she was the daughter-in-law of Arjuna, Abhimanyu's wife. So she was going to have a posthumous delivery. The child is 10 months old. So Ashwatthama has sent a Brahmastra. He said, this is the only child now left, this also is to be killed. Because they already killed the Pandavas. Now this child is left. There should be nobody to carry on the name of the Pandavas. Pandavas themselves, he found it was impossible to defeat them. At least this much I will do, there will be nobody left. The entire lineage will die. And Uttara comes running. Pahi Pahi Mahayoginne. So all the famous warriors, all their father-in-laws, and Chota father-in-law, Bada father-in-law, all are standing there. Bhima is there with his Gada, her own Arjuna is there with his Gandiva. She never believed in anybody. She says, you are the only one who can protect me in a place of Dvaita. Where there are two, always the one is likely to attack you. You never know. Where there is one, there is no other object to attack you. So that is the only place of fearlessness and abhaya. So wherever there are two, one day or other will be afraid. One's own son, a fellow was afraid when he was in East Africa, and he had police protection for 3 weeks. His 22-year-old son, he is 48 years old. But he was afraid of him. And there was another man, an advocate at Madras. At night he suddenly saw something here, a little sword. He found, in the olden days for cutting vegetables, we used to have a small wooden base on which it will be like this. So she brought it and she was trying to cut his throat. So whom can you believe? What can happen? Nobody knows. So she says, Nanyam tadabhayam pasyem. There is nobody else other than you who can give me 100% fearlessness. Others can say, I will try my best, but you can't believe in it. You are the only one. So that's Uttara's absolute surrender. She never bothered with anybody else. Time waste. By that time we don't know what will happen. So she straight came to Bhagavan Krishna. So that is how things have to be done. So at least for the moment you surrender, this is a partial surrender. You may not surrender for tomorrow, tomorrow you may forget it, you may go back, it doesn't matter. Out of 20 occasions, at least in some 10 minor occasions you have surrendered, even that is the beginning. At least that habit of surrendering and remembering the God at that time, it comes. So that is the partial surrender. Partial surrender is of two types. One is not every time. Sometimes you completely surrender yourself, sometimes you believe in the doctors, you believe in your mother, father, that's okay. That's also partial surrender. The other partial surrender is, as I told, you have prayed to him, you say that I believe in you. At the same time you go and bring a doctor who has just come from America and you have got more belief in him, and then you bring him and you please see. So he believes in both Bhagavan but not solely. He feels anyway as a side this thing, let me have the doctor also. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. At least instead of solely approaching him, you have the habit of approaching him also. So anywhere you start communicating with him at all times, communication is the most important. Keep your communication with the Lord always. That is the thing. You abuse him. God, are you a God? And this time you have given me this, tomorrow I have to fly, and then the child is so ill. What will I do with it? And my wife doesn't know a word of Marathi. What will I do here? Yes, you scold him completely. Doesn't matter. That should be the marriage counselor. That's what they say. If for 15 days the husband and wife do not talk to each other, he says you are doing wrong. Every day the girl goes. Have some communication. Let her put a few vessels on your head and let you put a few books on her head. Communication. Keeping it alive. That's very essential. So the same thing with God. Dveshenava, Bhayenava, Premnava, Mana Krishna Niveshya. Keep it in him either through utter hatred or through envy or through any sort of thing. Let it be love. That's okay. But the other ones are so long as you are completely thinking of him and completely you surrender yourself to him. That's all that matters. So completely you think of him even at that time, even that is sufficient. You need not, see, even though the old one they say Varnam, that's best, that's true. But when you can't, you think of her at that time, at that moment, things will be done. Because she wants to recruit you to her force. So once or twice she will say, okay, you thought of it, then I'll help you. She may not be the third time. So all these things are there. So this is a little idea of what surrender is. See, what is ultimate surrender? When you say everything is yours, all belong to you, it's all yours, you do what you like, you make yourself zero, that is the way in which your ego goes away. That is number one in the surrender. The first point is your ego goes away, and as such, then finally, only the totality alone remains. You don't remain at all because you have got nothing. You have got no power, nothing is there. So when you say absolutely that Lord, you alone exist, I am not, then in that case, you are already united with him. You become zero and he becomes the only existence. So that's the other way in which, it takes you to the highest. So this surrender, it starts with your normal things, but at the same time it can take you to the highest. So in the moksha also have an absolute surrender. Bhagavan, it is you who make me do all the sadhanas. So if I don't do sadhana for 10 days, well, I am not responsible. You don't give me that fillip or that enthusiasm to do it. So I can't help it. So 10 minutes to 15 minutes you talk to the Lord. That's all. Even that helps. See, when a man like Saint Augustine, he could reach a sainthood ultimately. He used to go and pray. He said, God, please, from now onwards, let me not go towards any girls. Let me have absolute confidence and absolute brahmacharya from today. God, please have give me absolute abstinence. I should not touch a drop of these liquids. And then he says, Lord, not yet, I'll tell you. See, even that helps. He became a saint with that. That's all. Once have that mentality to approach, that's all. That will take you. It's a very, very potent, the smarana. That is why they say again and again, Yekopi Krishnasya. See, one namaskara when you do, team, Yekopi Krishnasya Krita Pranamaha, Dasha Avabhrithena Tulyaha. It is equal to 10 Ashwamedhas. After Ashwamedha, the last day you go and have a bath, it's called Avabhrita Snana. That shows that yajna has been done. Even when we do the Bhagavata, on the last day we carry the Krishna on our head, we go to the nearest river and we do this called Avabhrita Snana. All the Orthodox people, they do it. That's the method. That's how we do it. So, Dashashwamedha Avabhritena Tulya is equal to 10 Ashwamedhas. Then he says, sorry, I told wrongly. Then he says, it is not equal. She says, Dashashwamedhi Punareti Janma Krishna Pranami Na Punarbhavaya. After doing 10 Ashwamedhas, he is again born. So it gives you some swarga, sometimes you can have a heyday somewhere. But again you have to come back to the world and again you will have your birth and death and again you will have to suffer. All these things are there. But a man who has once done namaskara means surrender. simply doing like this, these are not namaskara. What is a namaskara? What is namaha? Na mama iti namaha, namaskara, namaha. This is the definition given in our shastras. Nothing is mine, everything belongs to you, all the Shaktis belong to you. Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, all the three are yours. I do nothing. So the entire body which represents all the Kriyas, your hand, feet, your mind, all this is called Sashtanga Namaskara. You are completely, when you put it before the Lord, that means it is yours. So you are putting the entire thing before you and say it is all yours. That is the purpose of the Namaskara. That's all. So when you do like that, he says, once when you do, he says, Napunar Bhavaya. You may take it as exaggeration. It's not an exaggeration. To that extent, when you go in 1 minute, you can get him, there is no problem. But that 1 minute, when it comes, you do not. That's why when I put that book, Ashtavakra as instant self-awareness, everybody tell, what do you mean by self-awareness? Can it come instant? I said, it comes only in an instant, but that instant may come after 20,000 years. I am not responsible for it. It comes in one instant, that's all. It doesn't slowly come 10% today, 20% tomorrow, no. It comes in an instant. So, that is why everything is cultivated. So, the Lord. And you may surrender to the Guru, because what happens is, surrendering to an unknown personality called God becomes difficult for many people. So your Guru, you know, you have got some respect for him. So you just think that he is the one and you do it, because everybody, when it is only self, is Atmavi Sarvani Lokani. So when everything has become Atman, the Atman is more manifest in a Guru than anything else. So naturally, you see, you think of him, you surrender yourself to him, ultimately all these things are transferred, which will be prepared and given to him. That's all. So no problem at all. So that habit of a transfer, once it comes, automatically your ego goes. When your ego goes, you are fit for the moksha. Yada naham tada moksha. When I am not there, there is moksha. Both cannot be together. Aham and moksha. You cannot come and say, sir, I got enlightenment. And shall I tell you on that day what happened? Who is talking? See, already when the drop has been inundated with the entire ocean, it has become part of the ocean. Who is to come back and tell, sir, on that day you united, how beautiful, see, how can it come? It's impossible. Nobody can come. See, the thing is not separately there, but it happens to be in according to certain Vishtadvaita and other Achintya Dvaita, Advaita, all these things are there. There they say, we get Saija. Saija is different from moksha. We become one with God. So in his Vishwarupa, they are giving so many chairs there, inside his body. One is for Shantananda, one is for Dr. Sandhya, one is for Mr. Ramchandran. So it's all there. And whenever they want to come, they may choose some of them, come on, come along with me, I am going to take avatara. They may choose you and you will have to go again and again. You are all the reserve police. Whenever there is a action, you have to go at that time. So they are called the Nitya Suris. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, all these people have come along with me. In any way, you just pray and for 1 minute even you surrender yourself, it makes a base. That base will again and again grow by itself. That's all. The first action is yours, then rest is his. That's that. That's how surrender was according to me. I am not all knowing.
That's, yeah, the first part, I did this.
Yeah, but
I recorded it.
full.
Not full, sorry. The first part, that
When
6
I
points of surrender, that.
That is there. See,
Recorded here, should
you
record
know,
here.
That's the not there even.
Here,
This
okay.
is the best tip.
road, that's a long
This is the
road.
best. By heart alone. As I said, be like a small child. Bhagavan says, Unless you be like children, you cannot get the kingdom of heaven. What do you mean by small children? Just a born child. It has no vocabulary. So it cannot think. All thoughts can be on one language. You thought when you think of God, you think of God, you think of Katil, you think of Kadiya. So in some language, when there is no language, there is no vocabulary, it cannot think. But it has got feelings. That's in the heart. The feelings of hunger, the feelings of thirst, the feelings of evacuations are the more important feelings. When that's all over for the child, with an angelic smile to sleeping, then what is its feeling? The feeling is always there. So what sort of feeling does God? I am, Asmi. That is the chit. Yadi deham parityaja, chiti vishram. A child is not aware of its body. It doesn't know this is my hand, this is my thing. You only divide it after when it becomes 5 months old. You go on telling it, what is this eye? What is this nose? So you divide the child into 20. It's an akanda. So we are responsible for it. For partition. And we partitioned Pakistan. And then we pray to God, God, protect only India, not Pakistan. What a foolishness. For him, the entire thing is one. Program of having a substitute and all that. How far? Sarlaji is there?
Yes. She's in the US now.
Has gone to